Today I'm going to show you how to make a colorful stencil portrait in Photoshop. First, start off by opening a photograph of yourself that you like, and in this case I need to crop it down a little bit to get rid of some of the excess. So I'm going to get the crop tool, which is the fifth tool down from the top in the toolbox. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click and drag a box around the part of the portrait that I want to keep. And once you draw the crop box on here, you can actually change the size of it by clicking and dragging on these handles. So I'm going to stop right there. I think that looks good. And I'm going to click the green check mark to make my changes. Now what I'm going to do in the layers panel is convert this background into a layer. You can see that this has a padlock on it, and that's going to prevent us from doing some of the things that we need to do in some future steps. So to convert this background to a layer, all I need to do is double click it, and I get this window right here that says layer 0. I simply click OK, and now if we look over here in the layers panel, you can see that the padlock is gone, and this is now named layer 0. Now what I'm going to do is cut out the excess stuff around the outside of my portrait. To do that, I'm going to use the Polygonal Lasso tool. So there are actually many ways that you can cut things out. This is just one of my favorite tools. So I'm going to go down to the third tool from the top, that's the Lasso tool, and I'm going to click and hold on the button until I get this pop-out menu and choose the middle one, which says Polygonal Lasso. The way the Polygonal Lasso works is you click to start it, so I'm going to click right down here at the bottom of the image where my sleeve is, click it, and it's like that point is stuck now where you clicked. So I can drag up with the mouse and click again, let go of the mouse, move it up a little bit, click, move it up, click, move it over, click, move it, click. What you have to be careful of is that you don't click too quickly together. If you double click, that automatically ends your selection, and usually when that happens, it's not a good thing. So don't go too fast. And we're going to use the threshold adjustment layer on this, so I don't have to be too careful because the threshold is just going to convert everything to black and white anyway, so I don't have to be all perfect on this. So I'm going to be just a little bit more sloppy than I would be if I was using this for different purposes. So now when I get down here to the bottom, I'm just going to go really fast around the outside edge of this because this part doesn't matter. I just need to come back and complete the circuit by touching the end point to the beginning point. And you can see when I do that, you get that tiny circle icon next to the lasso tool. That means the beginning point and the end point are touching. So when I click that, I get this selection around the part of the image that I want to get rid of. So all I have to do is either hit backspace or delete on the keyboard and it's gone. So to get rid of the selection, I'm going to click Control D on the keyboard, and now I'm ready to start putting my threshold on this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my layer 0 and drag it down here to the new layer button to make a copy, because I'm going to do the threshold on this, and in case I mess it up, I still want to have a copy of my original portrait. So now up here in the adjustments panel, I'm going to go to the bottom row and click the third button over, which is threshold, and then I'm going to move the threshold slider until I think my shirt looks good, about right there. But you'll notice that that actually makes my face look pretty awful. So what I'm going to do is merge this threshold layer with the portrait below it by clicking Control E on the keyboard. Now I'm going to turn the visibility icon off, which is the eyeball, and hide that layer for a minute and click on the layer below it. So I'm going to go back up to my adjustment panel and do another threshold on this, and this time I'm going to do it so my face and hair looks good. So I say maybe about there. Again, I'm going to push Control E to merge that threshold down with the portrait. I'm going to turn the top layer back on and click on it. So to kind of blend those two layers together, what I'm going to do is get the eraser tool, and I'm going to double click my eraser options and make sure that the hardness is set on 100% and choose the largest brush, which is size 19, and then I'm going to just click off here in this gray space to get that menu to go away. I can see, however, that this brush is really tiny, so look on the keyboard and find the P key. Next to it are the bracket keys. If you push the right bracket, it makes the paintbrush larger. So I'm going to get a nice large brush, and I'm going to erase the top layer and reveal the bottom layer. So now I have the shirt that I want and the face that I want. So if I turn off the bottom layer really quickly, you can see all I did was erase my head off of the shirt and then left the one beneath it alone. So to merge those two layers, Control E. So there is my finished stencil portrait, and next I'm going to work on the background. So that's it for this video. Look for video number 2 for the next part.